Hello and welcome to this tutorial for LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 through 4. In this video we are going to go over the lesson Lumos Solem. This is the lesson just after Transfiguration, so this is how you typically finish Transfiguration, with Ron on the pet spell, Hermione on Wingardium Leviosa, and Ron just right by the door ready to leave straight away. The reason we're going to do that is because immediately we leave this room with Ron, and the first thing we're going to do is do what's known as a pet warp. So with player 1, we're going to target Ron with Wingardium Leviosa, like so. And then Ron is going to put his pet out just as the kind of Wingardium Leviosa animation is about to start. That's going to warp Scabbers to 0-0. And then Scabbers is free to be able to go through the door, because 0-0 on the map is a lot closer to kind of the door we need to go through. So we'll do the pet warp there, and you can see Scabbers spawns kind of in here. To get Scabbers out of here, you kind of need to hold a downwards angle to push this out the way. So what you kind of see is holding down and then left once you've done the pet warp to be able to make your way through this door. This room we're going to move with player 1 and player 1 only. We're going to move with player 1 in a particular way though. So player 1, if you want to save a bit of time, this saves about 2 seconds, but player 1 is going to, while moving, start lighting Lumos about here, and then Lumos jump kind of in an upright direction and land on here. You can stand on here quite comfortably, but the one does push you off. So what we tend to do is buffer the jump, which I've gone over before. Basically, once you've done your Lumos jump by spamming jump twice, you then release the jump button and repress it again. You re-grab it, and that gives you a first frame jump when you're landing, so it looks a little bit like that. And then you can be able to get up over here. That tech's going to be used a lot kind of throughout the run. In this room, the first thing we're going to do is the player 3 character is spawning just behind the pillar on the left, kind of your third character that you're not using. So we're actually going to switch to them, and then player 1 will go through the door. When you switch though, or in this room as well, we want to make sure we switch spells forwards once with player 2 and once with player 1, so they're both on Wingardium Leviosa. That will be useful in this next room. We've got a bit of a load here, which is unfortunate, but should be alright in a minute. Right, and then when we spawn in this room, what we're going to do is we're going to move both characters kind of over to the left. We've got two things we need to do. We need to build a statue, and we need to then obviously open the door to the next level. The statue, what it will do is allows us to do a camera pan skip, which becomes useful later. But what we're going to do, so I normally move P1 first, give him about a 0.5 second head start, and then move player 2. And as we're moving across this way, player 2 is going to kind of come up here and be around this area. And player 1 is going to keep going to the left. But the most important thing we're going to do is we're going to break these 4 things around the outside. So starting from about here, we're going to go like this. And then we're just going to be shooting at them like so. And we want to have them built while player 1 kind of gets to about here. And then what we're going to do is, you can do this as quickly or as slowly as you want, but we're going to try and skip a camera pan. Basically, we build the statue with player 2. The moment that statue lands, a camera pan starts. And we want to build the camera pan basically as quickly. So we want to leave the room as that camera pan is starting. Not before, as it's starting. It's quite a weird thing to time, but after a bit of practice you get used to it. So what we're going to do, I'll show you how to open the door with player 1. Player 1 comes over here, activates Lumos, and you can again jump into this to be able to skip the Lumos animation. What we do now is we're going to build with player 2, and kind of when we see the statue pretty much fully built, then going to leave the room with player 1. It's quite difficult to time, so I'll try and give a more precise timing. But you see statues being built here, and you see all the pieces have been clipped together and the statue's starting to fall down. That tells me that we can leave the room and start leaving the room with player 1. And we leave it there, and you might have been able to see Sorry, my PC is doing things as well. Just as we left the room there, the camera kind of started turning and the statue looked like it was playing an animation. If we get that, that means we've skipped it correctly. But then we're going to make our way through here. And go over this way. So just player 1 movement again for this room. And now we enter the Lumos Solem lesson itself. And to start off with, in this camera pan, we have a very important thing to look at. That thing to look at is which character is further to the left. In this case, it's Harry. Sometimes it's Hermione, depending on how they get pushed out by the door. That's kind of random. But in this case, Harry is the furthest left. So what we're going to do with Harry is we're going to walk left, and we're going to basically just spam the B button to bring out Lumos, and then use Lumos Solem on the plant, which is just to the right here. So we do that. And then that activates a thing which spawns some flowers at the front here. Water some plants, and yeah, we get these flowers at the front. We need to break all of these with player 1, and normally with the right timing, player 2 also comes and helps. With player 2 at the same time, player 2 will come down here, shoot this thing, and then we'll use magic on this. So you notice as I went down, I actually changed my spell to Wingardium Leviosa. So from here, my spell, I think I pressed forward on the spell wheel twice, but you can press forward on the spell wheel twice or backwards once, it doesn't matter. But once Hermione, in this case, has shot this and built the cart and used magic on the cart here, Hermione will then come and join in and help Harry over here. In this case, we can get these last 2 plants. And now this is where the 1 player, 2 player stuff tends to line up for me. I always do this 1p2c, where from here, I build the cart with player 1, and I'm going to stop building the cart slightly early. So I'm going to stop building the cart about now, and position Harry round here. That's just a small time save you can do. You can end a lot of the builds a little bit earlier than you think. But then what I'm going to do is jump on the cart, and immediately, you see I activate Lumos. And what I'm looking for is basically, we've got a free Ron. You can see Ron kind of just above Harry in the background, caught in one of those green plants. The quickest way to get him out is basically react to the cart smashing through kind of the brownish vines that are in front, and immediately press and hold X. And X will allow you to target. I think you can even target earlier if you want. So you go through the cart, and then immediately target X. A tiny little up input to make sure that you're targeting at the right spot. And then, yeah, you release Ron, and that's what triggers the end of the level. So there's a lot to take in this section, but I will show it again, this time doing it a bit faster. Okay, so showing this again, starting from where you'd normally finish Transfiguration. We're going to leave the room immediately with player 2. And then do a pet warp by immediately kind of holding down right and targeting with Hermione. And then we leave the room here with player 2. And then we will do this Lumos jump up to here, just to be able to skip a small corner of that staircase. And you see I already put Ron on Leviosa. I'll put Harry on Leviosa as well, although we need to switch him to Lumos in this room. We break all 4 of those, and I'm going to start the building about now. That was still quite a safe place to start the building. I could definitely start it a lot earlier than that. But I like to err on the side of caution with that. Basically, if you do it too early, then there's a likelihood that you will... there's a likelihood that you can either just not build the statue at all, or completely... or actually soft lock the statue so it just doesn't work. And then you don't get any of the benefit from it, and you've just wasted a couple of seconds. But anyway, we saw from the camera pan there, Harry spawned a bit closer, so I'll go to the left with Harry again. Make sure both characters are on Leviosa now. And you can see Hermione is going to be able to help out. And then I kind of like to jump against this wall with Hermione and turn around. What that just ensures is basically she stays closer to the wall. It helps a lot in categories where you don't save. It doesn't matter in categories where you do. But then jumping on the cart is not too bad, and then activating Lumos and hitting run. That is the end of the level. So thank you very much for watching. There's another quick lesson, but pretty important one as well because of the plunger strat which we set up for the future. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.